We'll call this video a follow-up video to the M11 regrets video that I did a few weeks ago, because I shared then that if I was in the market today for a new digital Leica, I would choose the M11P over the M11. But I bought the M11 prior to the M11P even coming out, and the M11 is my camera. It's reliable and I truly do love it. But I'm in the same boat for my other Leica, because as much as I love this camera, the Leica M6, I kind of wish I wouldn't have bought it. And no, this isn't some clickbait title where I flip the narrative. Like, I truly wish I would not have bought this camera. And honestly, there's only one reason, and I'm gonna share it with you in this video today. But before I do, if this is your first time here, my name is Dave, and I'm a photographer and filmmaker from the Bay Area of California. I hope to educate and empower you with information on this channel, so be sure to subscribe if that resonates with you. And if you reach out or you comment, I will always try to respond. So follow along and join the community. This is the Leica M6, probably the most iconic Leica camera in the entire lineup. So what makes the M6 so freaking good? It was the pinnacle of their mechanical M lineup. In the M7, they introduced electronics, which made it prone to fail over time. The M6 is fully mechanical, of course, except the light meter, and it's honestly just refined in every way. It's reliable, it's beautiful, and it will last a lifetime. Now, my personal copy is the big logo M6, which has this big M6 printed on it, and mine has the white paint removed. And then I also removed the red logo and I put a black brass disc in its place to give it a more minimal design. I use this camera often. It's truly a flawless camera. At this point, maybe you're wondering why, if this camera is so flawless, why I would not buy it again. Well, it's because the M6 here, unlike other Leica M cameras, this one will never reflect my relationship with it. Like, I could take this camera out and shoot it until the end of my life and then pass it on to my kids, and guess what? It's going to look exactly the same. No, in hindsight, I really wish that when I went to finally get a Leica film camera, I really wish I would have just bought a brand new Leica MP. Now, you may or you may not know this, but brass camera bodies with black paint, they show wear over time. For instance, my ISO dial on the M11 is made of brass and it's showing wear, though the body, like this M6, never will. A mechanical film camera will last a lifetime. It'll never become technologically irrelevant like digital cameras will. It will just age and work. And of course, you get a normal CLA every so often, but it'll just work forever. And if you have a black paint brass camera, well, your story will start to wear on the body. How you hold the camera, how often you use it, how you treat it, how you store it, how you put it in and out of its bag, like all the places you touch it will become visible on the body. And if you are a sucker for heritage, for old things, stories throughout history, your story and place in time, then you probably feel the same way that I do. Now, I've briefly mentioned my personal history with music on this channel a few times, but there's a similar thing that happens with acoustic guitars aging over time. I used to be in Nashville often, and I would always stop by Gruen Guitars and I would play those vintage $10,000 Martin acoustics. There would be like 10 to 20 or so at any given time just down the wall, and you could literally pick up a Martin from 1948 and play it, and then get another one from 1948, even a close serial number, and play it. And those two acoustic guitars could have two totally different tones that they produce. This is because, as many believe and just as many skeptics criticize, The wood of the guitar ages with the player. Like for instance, if you played your guitar like really aggressively with bright chords and you strummed it really hard for like 40 years, the wood in the resin would harden in response to the way that you made the guitar wood vibrate. And at the same time, if you finger picked and you played in like a more gentle style, it would age in response to those frequencies and vibrations. And today, if you pick up a vintage guitar and it's bassy and it's warm, it was likely owned and aged by someone who maybe fingerpicked. But if it's bright and it's loud, it was likely owned by someone who strummed the guitar and needed to cut through a band. Now again, this topic is hotly debated in the guitar community, but my acoustics, I bought them new for this reason, and I'm hopeful that when my children one day inherit my belongings, who I am as a creative is imprinted on the tools that I pass down. Now, maybe that's a bit romantic and all, but it's important to me. In the same way, if I was doing it all over with the Leica film camera, I would have saved a little more and bought a brand new Leica MP, and for the next like maybe 40 or 50 years, Lord willing, I'll age that camera with every single frame. Now, the M6 is awesome. I don't have any disdain or negativity towards it. I recognize that this is a privileged camera, and for many, this is a dream camera. And honestly, it was for me too. And I bought it like 20 years after being a photographer. But I could have maybe bought a Leica MP after just 21 years of professional work. So what will I do? Well, as of right now and for the foreseeable future, I'm gonna do the same thing that I said in the M11 video. I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing because these are the tools of my business, and it's very hard to justify making any changes unless it can increase my ability to grow my business. The reality is the end user does not know the difference between these cameras, and therefore it doesn't really matter from that perspective. But if I had a time capsule, went back in time and did the whole thing over again, well, it would be a different story. I definitely would have picked up a brand new Leica MP and I would let it reflect my usage over time. So yeah, wouldn't have the M6 today if I could do it over. I'd have the MP, but this is what I've got and I'm super happy with it, and I recognize just how lucky I am to be able to have things like this. So please don't take this video the wrong way. And I hope you did enjoy this video, and if you have any thoughts or comments, please share them below. And of course, check out the links, join the Discord, and if you hit me up anytime, anywhere, I'm always gonna try to reply. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time.